When the world sleeps, the shadows come out to play. We find comfort in our homes, believing that four walls and a locked door can keep the unknown at bay. But in the dead of night, silence isn't just the absence of noise. It's a breathing, watchful presence. Tonight, we go inside a massive, isolated warehouse where a security guard named Siddharth learned a terrifying lesson. Some doors are meant to stay closed, and some voices are never meant to be heard. This is his true story. Siddharth had worked the graveyard shift for years, but this warehouse was different. It was a cavernous space of rusted metal and shifting shadows. It was 2:45 a.m., the devil's hour, when the air suddenly turned ice cold. The silence was shattered by a sound that didn't belong. Thud, thud, thud. A rhythmic, heavy dragging noise echoed from the far end of Corridor B. It sounded like a heavy sack of wet meat being pulled across the concrete floor. Siddharth's flashlight flickered as he gripped it tight. "Who's there?" he shouted, his voice cracking. The dragging stopped instantly. The silence that followed was even worse. He shone his light down the long, dark hallway, but the beam only revealed swirling dust motes. No one was there, but as he turned to retreat to the safety of his booth, the air behind him shifted. He felt a freezing breath against the back of his neck, so close he could smell the scent of wet earth. Then, a raspy, disjointed whisper crawled into his ear. "Hide. It's hungry for you." Heart racing, booth, and slammed the steel door, bolting it shut. He collapsed into his chair, eyes glued to the bank of CCTV monitors. At first, there was nothing. Then on camera 4, the one right outside his door, he saw it. A figure emerged from the darkness. It was impossibly tall, its limbs elongated and twisted like dead branches. Its arms reached all the way to the floor, ending in jagged obsidian-like claws. But the face was a smooth, featureless mask of pale skin. No eyes, no mouth, just a blank slate of horror. The creature leaned its head against the metal door. Then came the sound that would haunt Siddharth forever. Screech! The slow, deliberate screech of claws carving through steel. He grabbed his radio, but only static screamed back. His phone showed no service. Suddenly, the monitors began to flicker and glitch. The figure on the screen turned its blank face toward the camera, and in a blink, it was gone. The hallway was empty. But Siddharth knew. It wasn't outside anymore. It was in the vents above him, waiting for the final flicker of the lights. When the day shift arrived at 7 a.m., they found Siddharth curled in a corner. His hair turned partially white from shock. He was catatonic, pointing at the ceiling. When the police reviewed the tapes, the footage showed Siddharth screaming and barricading the door. But to their horror, the hallway on the screen remained empty the entire night. Yet there was one physical reality they couldn't ignore. On the outside of the heavy-duty steel door, 3 deep, jagged gouges had been ripped into the metal. They weren't made by a crowbar or a machine. They were claw marks, and they were still cold to the touch.